All right, all right, all right, all right. Here we go. Here we go. No games, just business podcast, episode 20, fellas. In 2023, episode
Mm.
20 in 2023. Fellas, how
Oh,
you feeling? How are you living? What's up, cuz?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm living real good. Got some good news this week, and that's all I'm gonna leave it for
Hmm.
right now. Great news coming. We building, we getting better, we expanding. How y'all feeling, man? How y'all feeling? Y'all
Don,
good?
what's good, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Cannot complain. Cannot complain. I'm waiting on some good news like that myself. But
Okay.
I say this before we get started. I want everybody to like, subscribe, show some love, leave a comment, and just share the platform.
For sure, for sure,
Yes,
for
sir,
sure.
for sure, for sure. Man, I think we all got our pick wrong, man. We thought Rogers was gonna get in there. I thought the football gods was gonna say, Rogers, here you go. This is for you. But it didn't go that way. It didn't go that way.
I mean, how are we here again with you, Rodgers? Year after year.
Oh,
This is a little different this time. We didn't make it to the land where maybe a promise can come true. There's not even an opportunity on the couch like me, you, and you. This is ridiculous, Rodgers. It's
Him and
ridiculous.
hey,
Devontae probably hanging out together right now,
Come
hey,
on.
I tell
reminiscing
you,
the old times.
I tell you this, there'd be a better watch than the Seahawks. Seahawks about to get blown up.
Oh my
Yes,
God, this is about to be
yes,
so ugly. It's about to be
that's a fact.
so. I think there might be a couple of ugly games, at least two, at
Mm,
least two.
Who
this is gonna
who
be
else you got?
interesting.
I think that yeah, I got. It's so hard for me to do this, but I gotta give y'all some prop. I think it's gonna be a little ugly with that Ravens and Bengals game, man.
Oh well. Hey, I'm
I think
not
I
going
think
to
I'm,
debate that.
I think it might get a little ugly there, but that's just me
Mm,
being honest.
Depending on living tomorrow, he shows up or not.
It
He's
won't
healthy
matter.
or
He's
It
been out
won't
for a
matter.
while,
he has. He has.
we saw with Jalen Hurts. He had to break. He had to knock off the rust this week, and he
And we
didn't
And
play
will
apparent,
too well.
definitely. I
and
can't wait to
apparent,
get into
I was
this.
gonna say apparently he a top four quarterback. So imagine somebody that's not a top four quarterback trying to come back after a month.
That's a beautiful point because I mean, but at the same time, your legs. How rusty can your legs be? That's what he relies on. Not that arm.
You gonna still have to throw some point throughout the game.
And who is he going to throw to?
Mhm.
Anyway, what we got on the
Mm,
agenda today, Jimmy? What we got?
we got a playoff field atmosphere here today. It is crunch time. It is business time. Yes, just business, just business. And I cannot wait to get into it with y'all. We are going to run it down with the three biggest surprises of the regular season first. We're going to recap this 2022-2023 season. It was different. It was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of, different feels. Older guys declining, younger guys rising, and the rookies showing up and showing out. We're going to get into it. And from there, we will go into the most intriguing matchup. Y'all was just speaking on some of these first round matchups, round one. Let's fight. We gonna have to fight on that segment because I have a feeling that I'm gonna have to defend someone that I have to defend on the regular here because there's a lot of disrespect coming across these mics. Now, from there we'll go into number three, the upset alert. Who will it be? The team that's most likely facing an upset this week, round one. Who will it be? Then we'll go to topic number four, one strength, one weakness of every team that is in that land where a dream may come true. Someone may catch fire. Someone may, we're not gonna pray anybody's downfall, but someone may get hurt. Someone may prove themselves. Someone may show us something a little bit different. I can't wait to, break it down. Playoff season is something special in the air, fellas. It's something special in the air. And we will close it out with topic number five with five bold predictions from all of us. We're gonna break it down playoff time. Again, the atmosphere is here. Let's see if we clutch with it. Because this is a different time, Don. You're number
Hmm.
one right now. But hey, the
hey,
clutch picks mean a little bit more. It's
hey, I'm clutch with it all, man. Hey,
okay.
I'm not worried. Hey, yeah, I have to basically, I'd have to go for me to actually lose this lead I got. Do you really think that's gonna happen?
I gotta see the numbers behind this one.
I
Well,
will
This is
that's
where
happily
I'll
to
be a
send it
numbers
to
guy.
you.
Please.
Let's get it, fellas. So we got the biggest regular season surprises. Man, oh man. I start this one, man. I start this one. It got to be the New York Jets, man. It got to be the New York Jets. They definitely surprised me this year. I did not expect them to have that type of season. I did not expect that defense to play like that. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when Rex Ryan was the coach. Because every year he was the coach of the Jets, he had at least a top 10 defense, I think, except for one year. Sauce is looking like that Darrell Revis type. He's not there yet as far as what Revis Island was in his impact on the game, but he can at some point get there. Led the league in pass deflections. We love that. DJ Reed, man, he complimented him. A shorter corner. He's around 5'9", but he played very well as well. The Williams brothers, Quinny and Quincy, man, oh man, Quincy was out there dumping this year. And Quinny had his career year. You know, at one point, some people might have thought he was a bust, but we noticed that lately you got to let guys develop a little bit. Even these first round draft picks, we got to give them a year or 2 or 3. Sometimes you get the sophomore year slump. And he's one of those guys that's breaking out in his third year. Eventually, he'll get some big money. Led the team in sacks. And also, I think he's like 11th in QB pressures as far as a interior D lineman. This team, I think, and as I said before, they're a quarterback away from being a playoff team. I'm not saying a Super Bowl team. I'm saying a playoff team. I personally think Jimmy G is going to be the guy that goes there. Again, like I said last episode, um, Jimmy G belongs in that spotlight. He lives in. I think he'll shine bright when in the lights as far as New York being in the Big Apple. Um, and if they could get Brees Hall back, that's an explosive weapon there. They have 3 solid receivers. I think that them as a core is better than a lot of these other receiving cores in the league. And then also, you know, they get Mekhi Beckham. Who knows if they trade him? But they still got a first round draft pick. So who knows? Maybe they go and get another defensive guy. Maybe they find another offensive weapon. You really don't pick tight ends, and there's no tight ends really in at this time of the draft. Maybe they get another receiver and package Elijah Moore and get him out of there, right? Who knows? But the Jets definitely surprised me this year.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to praise the Jets a little bit here too, because for me, it's the young stars showing up and showing out this year. And we're talking about the draft picks here, and it's usually the running back position that takes off when they're drafted in the NFL. But now it's a little bit of everybody. You got receivers, quarterbacks here, a lot of corners, but the Sauces and the Garrett Wilsons, I mean the Pickens and Chris Olive. I mean, it's all over the place right now, and I think it's a beautiful thing to see. It reminds me of the NBA and the young stars having a big role early on. There's a lot of times, yes, we do need to see these guys, get some time and maybe have a bridge quarterback here or a bridge receiver there just to show them the way, which is a beautiful thing. But when we're able to plug and play in these early draft picks to even mid to late draft picks, you got Purdy showing up and showing out. And I love to see that. I love someone showing up earlier than anticipated, changing the game in a different way. And that's one of my big surprises this year. The young guys.
Which young guy stood out the most to you?
For me, it's Sauce. And you spoke on it with Darrell Reeves. When we're able to put you already in the category or trajectory of a great, because I can't even push back on anything you're saying. And I'm a New England fan. I don't want to see Sauce. We don't have a number one receiver to match his ability, so let's not even throw his way. If it's man to man, yeah, that's it. Let's go ahead and. For me, it reminds me of Madden. When there's a number one option on the other end, I'm gonna get him out the play first off. It's either gonna be a screen so he can sit, so I can throw over the top of the number one corner, or I'm gonna send him on a fly, get him out the picture, and I'm gonna throw it underneath or behind him. That's what I'm gonna have to do as a New England fan for years to come because Sauce Gardner is like that. So Sauce is it for me.
Don, what you got?
One of my biggest surprises of the year is the Detroit Lions. Like they've been competitive all this year. They was 3-13 last year, finished 9-8, And I mean, they have a top five offense. I mean, third in rushing, fifth in points, third in yards. And as soon as they get a defense, or at least a secondary, because their defensive line with Hutchinson is on the upright on the uprise or whatever, however you say it. And as soon as they get a secondary, I mean, that's the cornerbacks are really the issue out there. And I feel like they should be able to win a division next year, honestly, because Rodgers might be retiring, so that take the Packers out unless you're high on Jordan Love, and
Hmm.
he's an unknown. And then you got the Bears. I'm not sold on the Bears. And then that just leaves you with the Vikings. Well, the Lions went 5-1 in the division this year. So I believe that with Dan Campbell as a rising coach, I believe that they'll be a team to be reckoned with next year. To be honest with you, I mean this offense is already potent, and nobody even looks at Jared Goff as a top QB. But there's argument to be made. There's a guy just telling me earlier he could be a top five quarterback this season. And hey, it sounds crazy, but statistics, Goff is up there. To be honest with you, I know we got this already. We already predetermined Golf already, but hey, Golf has been good all year. I gotta give him that. And then you talk about even some of the weapons that they got, like St. Brown and Jameson Williams, another year off of that ACL. Like, and then the two-headed running backs that they got. They got some weapons there, and the best offensive line in the league. Like, hey, the Lions gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
I've bit my tongue as long as I can. Top five quarterback Jared Goff. Are you serious?
Hey,
Situation is
hey,
top five.
hey,
So
well, hold
most
on.
sometimes you might look
I,
top five.
I say
Stop
this. I
it.
say this. I say this. I pushed back on it a little bit. I told him Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, and then I even threw y'all guy in there, Hurts, and his response was I can't remember what his response was, but he had a good response, and I was just like, yeah, I could see why you say that. Like, if you check the numbers, Golf has had a pretty good season, and his numbers are up there.
I
Uh,
cannot disagree with that. But go
I,
ahead.
I, ca- I can't disagree with that either. I really didn't make a top 10 quarterback list for this year as far as this year's play. I know we did a beginning of the year one. We'll definitely have to get back into that towards the end of the season. But what I will say is that two things. We've seen flashes from golf as far as when he played with the Rams and now that he's played with Detroit. I mean, he hasn't been horrible. He's a lot better than a lot of these other guys. But can we also give it to a point as far as the offensive coordinator? Because as we know, Jeff Fisher was a horrible head coach and offensive coordinator, and he did not develop quarterbacks very well. Um, but when Jared Goff got Sean McVay,
Mhm.
he's elevated his game. When he got this OC who needs a raise or he will leave with Detroit, he's elevated his game. So, I mean, it can go towards the scheme as well, but Jared Goff has played very well when he's had the opportunity to be coached. And he seems like a very coachable guy.
Yeah. Yes.
I would agree with that. I'll also say this: Jared Goff, his first year in Detroit, nobody was looking at him like he was anything special. This year, he's looking like you can build around Jared Goff, to be honest with you. And I mean, you talk about even some of the weapons. Nobody knew who St. Brown was. He's 1,000-yard receiver this year. So I get it. You saying it might be the scheme. He even lost his number one tight end, and this offense is still top five in the league. I mean, they're
That's a
better
great
than
point.
some of the offenses that you think are like that. To be honest with you,
That's a beautiful point. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
for sure. Um, my second surprise of the year is the Raiders. Man, I was big on the Raiders. I honestly thought that they were going to be a top five offense. Man, I truly thought there would be at least a top five offense. They're around like 11, and that's a failure for me in my eyes. I mean, maybe not others, but in my eyes, yes. Uh, you bring in Adams. You already had Waller. You already had Renfro. who had a career year the year before. You guys were a playoff team the year before. Josh Jacobs, I think he slept on as a running back. As far as these top guys in the league, he might have been overused this year as far as his body. Um, but he's a bruiser. He's been he's 3 out of the 4 years he's been in the league, 1,000 yard rusher. Um, and we can't blame the offensive line in this offense either because Carr went from being sacked 40 times a year prior to only 27 this year. So we can't blame that. I think honestly the pressure was too much for this team. It was the pressure for McDaniels to showcase that he actually is a good head coach. It was pressure from Carr in this offense to lead this team back to the playoffs. The defense is horrible. They went from a mid-tier defense to the like fourth worst defense in the league. What's going on? Like, how did you guys regress that much? You guys still had your two best Pro Bowlers on the defensive side. You bring in Chandler Jones, who's like, he's a shell of himself. He's getting older now.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you lose some veteran pieces on the backside, like Casey Hayward, but I mean, like, how did this team regress that much? And honestly, unless they get a quarterback, maybe Aaron Rodgers, uh, who knows where they're gonna be? I don't know. It's gonna be a tough year for them next year. Who knows?
Drop that nugget in there.
I only pushback I have is I guess you said you was high on the Raiders. I wasn't. I once John Gruden was a head coach, it was over for me. Um, I say this, I did think they would be a little bit better than what they was, but once you got John Gruden as your play caller, you ain't going nowhere to be honest with you. So I my only pushback with Rodgers would be from what you saw this year. Do you have any confidence that he's still the old Aaron Rodgers? I'm acting like Jimmy now.
Thank you. But say with your chest a little more.
I mean, he got his boy. He got Devontae Adams. He's just gonna throw it to him 170 times a year, and then he got Waller and Renfro. You think those three guys are better than the whole receiving group, young receiving group for the Packers? I do.
Of course, of course.
Exactly. I think Rogers. I mean, Adams by himself is better than those guys.
No.
Yeah, but then you also got to factor in what's the cap hit to get rid of Rodgers.
Oh, it's gonna cost him some money.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy, you going?
Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. The Raiders, we thought, highly of them. We thought. But and really McDaniels, like I was like, this is your opportunity. He still has a chance, and they're gonna give him some time. But I like that pick. I like that pick, guys. Now I'm gonna go the NFC East. They surprised me. They're no longer the least. I used to always, say that jokingly, but no, seriously. This team, this conference division, my fault. This division, the NFC East, is beautiful. You got the Cowboys. They have a lot to look forward to if they get the coach right. I still believe the coach is still an issue, and we'll speak on that a little bit later when we're talking about them Cowboys' weaknesses. It's not just him though, but they can hang their hat on their youth, and I think that's a beautiful thing. You're talking about salaries set up beautifully. Jerry Jones, one of the best GMs of all time, in my estimation. Roster construction is like that. Just being able to get it done on the coaching level and then the players. It seems like they always talk about a black cat running around this time of the year, and I believe that's true. But I believe new blood in there, top end talent. You talk about Parsons. The Cowboys are looking nice, and this division, along with the Eagles, you got a legitimate coach there. You got a legitimate coach with the Giants, and even in the midst of chaos, the Commanders are competitive. I think that's a good sign for this division going forward. So I like the Giants' ability to do really anything with their roster. So I think with Dable there, it will allow for a stable mind to be there up front when the top end into my office making decisions. And then Saquon, as he ages, I think it'll be this team will go into a rebuild in a better fashion than the Titans. And the Titans, we see Derrick Henry, obviously, he has probably more in the tank than Saquon. But I believe what the Giants have to offer even on the defensive end, you're talking about Kayvon Thibodeau. Like, that's a nice piece that will allow for this Giants team to be in games with their style. And I think it bodes well for this division going forward. The Eagles, we don't even need to speak on them. We know what the Eagles are, and just their coach name is
Skip.
Sirianni.
You talking
He,
about Stefanski? Ain't it?
the
Ain't that what it
the
is?
Eagles head
No,
coach.
no, the Eagles.
Sirianni?
I think Nick Sirianni.
Okay, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yo, he's doing a hell of a job, and I know well, for me personally, sometimes I take credit away from Jalen Hurts because of how much this Eagles team has, and I don't want to do that as much going forward until proven otherwise. He's doing what he needs to do. I'm trying to
I will.
stay in the moment, like y'all stay in the moment, because there hasn't been many moments for Jalen and for this Nick Sirianni, but so far y'all doing a hell of a job. You haven't played much of anybody this year. It remains to be seen. You have a bye. Let's see. I'm gonna speak on that later on too, but we'll see. This division looks nice. Surprising.
I ain't gonna lie. I like that one. Like, that is a surprise. Nobody thought that conference was gonna be good. And I mean, if you just looking at it, the Cowboys are gonna be Cowboys. They're gonna be competitive. You got the Eagles. I mean, no matter what I think about Jalen Hurts, they're gonna be competitive. And
Mhm.
then even the Giants. I mean, they got Daniel Jones, they got Barkley. It look like they're gonna build around those two guys, and they got cap space. So if they just go get at least one wide receiver that's at least competent back there, and then you talk about the Commanders, who could go out here and get a Jimmy G or one of them, and they're gonna be competent also. So I like it. I really do.
Okay, cool. So,
Yeah, I got no pushback. What you got, Don?
Um. One of my other biggest surprises, I got Gino. Gino has been a good quarterback this season, putting up career numbers. I mean, leading his team to the playoffs. His offense is ranked fourth in yeah, they're ranked fourth in passing, 11th in yards. And who would have thought Geno Smith would have had a better season than Russell Wilson this year and Russell Wilson last year in Seattle? Who would have thought? I mean, talk about have the mighty have fallen. But
maybe.
hey, y'all be praising Russ like he gonna have
Yo,
this comeback next year.
yo, you act like they didn't just bring in two rookie tackles who's been playing very well to help out Gino, and they have not once done that for Russell Wilson. But
Great points. Always
we're
interior.
gonna
Lord.
just poo poo Russ for the rest of his career. Okay, watch
What
the
what
Broncos are gonna
I
be
was gonna say
competitive
what,
next year.
to do
What
what? Are they
let's
making the playoffs?
I said give the Broncos 1 year. I said that
Are
from the
they making
beginning,
the
and
playoffs, Darius?
right now,
Darius,
I am
you ain't
on
answer my
track.
question. Are they making the playoffs?
I think they'll just miss the playoffs. I think the Raiders is going to be the team that.
Bro, stop it. Stop it.
You believe in the
Stop it.
Raiders?
How many wins? How many wins they got this year? 4,
The
because they just beat the
Broncos,
Chargers.
Yes.
probably
They got
4 or 5.
around
4.
4 or 5.
I'll give them 6 to 7 wins next year.
Yeah.
Bro, that ain't
So
what?
I said they'll just miss
You might
That
even
ain't
hear
no
me say
just.
call
That's
them
not
washed.
just. That's
the
not just
Jets.
missing.
The Jets just missed the playoffs 7-9.
Yeah, but the Jets are
The Patriots.
7-10. But the Jets are way. I feel more confident about the Jets than
But
the
that's not. But that's
Bengals.
not my point. That's not my
Mhm.
point. My
Right.
point is at 7-10. That's them. That's them just missing the playoffs. They're just
My
gonna
bad.
be a
Being
They're
in it.
couple of
they're
games
five and
out.
they're 5-12. But I mean, I'm not even going to factor in the teams that's in the playoffs right now. They're not going to be better than the Steelers. New England is whatever New England is. You got the Jets, Titans, Browns. What gives you any hope that they're going to be even close to the playoffs next year?
It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna get on this topic for another day.
Definitely. Raiders. We're gonna break down that whole division.
And yes, we
AFC
will. We
West.
will. During the off season, we will definitely get into them Broncos. And I'm gonna tell you how they're gonna be better next year.
I
So
would love to hear.
for my third one, I'm gonna piggyback. We're gonna give praise to Gino, by the way. Good job, Gino, this year. Um, on revamping your career. Hope I know you're gonna get another shot next year. Any pushback on that, Jimmy?
Actually, I got something to say because I believe you're on the money because that's my surprise. The NFC West, the Seahawks specifically, being the leading dogs for a while. The Rams having all these Hall of Fame potential talents, whatever the case may be, and falling short off a Super Bowl. You're talking about the final straw for Cliff. He's out of there. Bye bye. Now it's Kyler's turn to really see what he. I'm curious. How does Kyler want to play? Because we've seen what Cliff was able to do, or what he was capable of as far as scheme. But what is Kyler's mindset? Is he trying to sling it around? Is he trying to save himself, or does he want to be a pocket passer? Does he want to get out the pocket? So I'm really interested to see that in the 49ers. It's just beautiful to see the revolving door that Kyle Shanahan is creating there, and his legacy is growing more and more. And we'll speak on him a little bit later as well. But this whole division shocked me yet again.
Yeah, from the Rams not being competitive to the 49ers, just the defense just came out dominating. Them bringing in CMC, them running with Trey Lance, then back to Jimmy G, then Brock Purdy. Just a cycle of quarterbacks that's in this system that's playing well. And then Geno, who knew the Seahawks was even going to make the playoffs? I tell you, 90. Even Seahawks fans knew they were not going to make the playoffs, and they somehow Pete Carroll got this team together and got them into the playoffs, and that's a wonderful thing. So hey, yeah, I agree, man. I agree, and I'm actually going to piggyback off your previous one. My third one was the NFC East as well. I think you hit all of the points right on the money. The Eagles. I mean, we knew they were going to be good, but I think they overachieved their regular season expectations. Like, we didn't think that they were going to be dominating teams throughout the year. Obviously, that slowed down just a little bit.
One of us predicted, I can't remember, I'm going to have to check the tape, but one of us predicted the Eagles' greatness because because their schedule was so subpar.
I think I'm the one that had the Eagles winning the division. I think you still had the Cowboys winning the division.
Okay.
But But we saw Hurts elevate his game this year. We know the Cowboys is like Don said, they're always going to be competitive. They typically make the playoffs every single year. But Saquon and the Giants, man. Saquon leading this Giants team has just been fantastic. I said it was going to be a fun year if we got CMC and Saquon healthy through the whole year. And it has. And Dexter Lawrence, don't forget Dexter Lawrence on this Giants defense has been dominating. Oh my goodness, been looking good. And then we got the Commanders, like you said. I mean, this team, all four of these teams could have made the playoffs if they would have been maybe a little bit more competitive. They should have just ran with Heineke and just said, "Forget it. Yep. We'll run with Heineke, and it is what it is." That's what I would have did.
That was the difference, really.
Yeah.
Even early on in the season, Carson Wentz was starting for a while.
Yeah, Carson had one good week. That was week 1. After that, it was done.
I'll say this. They did surprise me, but I'm interested to see what they do next year because I'm not gonna lie, they had an easy schedule. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't say that enough. And next year, I'm even just looking at the Eagles right now. They got the Chiefs, Bucks, Jets, Patriots, still got the Cowboys, Giants, Dolphins, Vikings, Bills, 49ers. I'm really interested to see what they do with that because I was just an Eagles fan just told me earlier that they're going to be facing 9 playoff teams. So I'm interested to see what they do with that schedule since the Eagles think that they're legit like that. Yeah.
I think Philly could get through it. I think they're tough enough to get through it.
That line, they built the right way.
I think I think with Jalen Hurts continuing to play well, he has the weapons to do so on offense. I mean, he has a tight end, he has receivers, he has. Who knows? They may go out, they may go get a running back from the free agents, or they may draft Bijan Robinson. Who knows? Who knows?
I guess that's gonna be another subject for when we get to either talking about the schedule, predicting records, or something. Because I'm not as high on them as y'all are. Um, my last one. I got how bad some of these former good QBs have looked this season. And when I say that, I mean Russ, Matt Ryan, Brady, Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
Alrighty.
they're all putting up career lows. I can only
Alrighty.
I can only just state facts. Who knew that some of
Career
them would?
lows for Brady.
Yes, some of them.
Okay, okay, okay.
Who
Just keep.
knew some of them would diminish their legacy? And I say this, since you brought up Brady, I mean, he's got some lows right now from when he's been with the Bucks over the past few years. His numbers have went down this season, but hey, I ain't
I
trying to get
would
on the
hope
Brady.
so.
I'm just
He is
saying.
46, 45.
Oh my
What?
God,
What do you
we
expect?
ain't about, we ain't about to
Elevation?
start. We ain't about to start on this. Do we ain't about to start on this right now? There's
Start
some
playing.
other time.
Hey, I will say that you are correct. You are correct. I wouldn't say diminishing their career. I think their career is pretty set in stone. Like Brady is still putting up numbers at his age, but he isn't the old Brady of like he can't just go out there with a group of guys that we just don't really know and elevate a team to a win. Like he does need more now than he ever did before.
Facts.
Aaron Rodgers, uh, I think Aaron is just he's just a little too cocky and arrogant at times for for his own good, but he could still make. I don't know. He has regressed. I'll give him that. He has regressed. And, and then we all know Matt Ryan need to retire.
All
Um,
right.
who else we got? Russ. Yeah, I saw Russ out there trying to scramble. He he can't move like he used to, but again, I think Russ could still make some of the throws from the pocket
Mhm.
better than some of these other guys. But I could agree. I could agree. I could agree. I got
Yeah,
no not much pushback on that.
definitely well past all of their primes.
Yeah. So what we got next, Jimmy?
We got the most intriguing matchups round one. Let's fight. Ding, ding, ding. Let's get it. Who going first, man? Round one. Who got it?
I'm curious. What you got, Don? What you got?
Uh,
Because I know who Jimmy going with.
Come on, man.
as most intriguing or upset.
This is the most
Intri-
intriguing.
Um, I got Cowboys versus Bucks. To be honest with you,
Oh, this is gonna be a long segment here.
no, honestly, I didn't even do like no. I didn't do any of that. Tom Brady bashing. I just legit. It just legit reasons. Like
I feel it. Let's get it.
I'm honestly trying to figure out like if the Bucks lose, what happens to them after this? Like what does Brady do? Is he gone? Is he gone for sure? Like he's going to probably be a free agent, I believe, next year. What what is the situation with that? Todd Bowles, he's probably not back if they lose in the first round. And then on the
Hmm.
other side, Cowboys, if they lose,
Hmm.
you're not getting rid of Dak because of the cap hit that's going to follow it. So now you're talking about Zeke is gone. You're talking about McCarthy is gone. What
Out of
other
here.
changes? Like they've said that they like Sean Payton. What other changes come with that? So that's just my thing. And then even if you talk about matchups, Cowboys have a decent, well, not even decent, a very good defensive line compared to the Bucks offensive line. What happens with that? Like I'm just not sure. Like the third Cowboys are third in sacks and sixth in points allowed. So will Brady be able to dink and dunk his way all the way down the field against them? And I get it, they had a bad outing against the Commanders, but hey, that defense shows up sometimes and they put on the show. So I'm just interested in not just the game, but the storylines that come behind it.
I feel that. I feel that. And you know, a lot of times I don't really rock with these, mainstream networks, but I got to shout out NFL Live. They be on point. Dan Orlowski, Ryan Clark, y'all are my guys. Just saying. But I say that to say I seen a stat where the Cowboys in the dome have a better record than on grass, real
Yep,
grass.
been
God,
seeing that.
what God gave us, the real grass. Now, this game, because of the division, champions that the Bucks are, is played in Tampa. They have grass. I believe that will help slow that team down. The run game in the regular season wasn't anything for the Bucks. I think that will help also slow that run game. I mean, my fault. That pass rush down for the Cowboys. But you make great points, and this is very difficult for me. It's so intriguing because for me it goes my heart, then my mind, then back to my heart. My heart tells me don't ever go against Brady. My mind tells me the Cowboys are beautiful. The roster construction is there. Only thing they're missing, the biggest weakness, I'll reveal it now, is Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. The most important combo in sports is your biggest weakness, and for me that it just can't work, and that's why I say Brady has an opportunity. Back to the heart, then the mind, what the Cowboys have, and now back to my heart again. Believing in the Cowboys at this time of the year just doesn't feel right. But again, my heart. So I don't know. It's back and forth here. A lot of volatility. I don't know where to go with it. I believe that the Cowboys have what it takes to beat the Bucks if they're at their B game. But them at their B game isn't too guaranteed around this time of the year. So it's a tough matchup, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. What's up?
You made some good points. I say this. The only thing that I push back on, the Bucks aren't going to be able to get that running game started. Like they have a
Playoff Lenny,
atrocious
please
running
playoff
game.
Lenny.
Like I guess hey, if you wouldn't have put it on playoff Lenny, then cool because he has shown up. But just going off of this season, that running game has been non-existent. That's why Brady out there throwing 50 times a game and stuff like that.
That's a fact. He shouldn't have to do that. You're right. Cause
Yeah. I can't. It's tough. It's tough to pick which one of these teams are going to win because they played earlier in the season and the Bucks won that game, right? And
yeah,
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they play 2 years ago, week one, and the Bucks won that game.
correct.
So I mean, Tom Brady has had this team's
They
number.
played this year, first season,
Mhm.
first game of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said. This year, and then 2 years ago they played
Oh
week
yeah.
one as well.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm glad you did a shout out there because I'm also shout out Colin from the herd. I like to listen to him as well.
Okay.
So shout out him. He said I forgot what percentage of teams that get. We're talking about teams with. He said B plus quarterback, which is like Dak Prescott. Um, and a solid overall team. Teams that get blown out the week prior then comes back and has a really big game the following week.
Mhm.
So that's why this game is very tough because not only has Brady had their number, but I, I do think Dallas is going to pull this off. But I only give them one game this year, and that's this game only. And then I'm gonna get to the next point of Don. What does the Bucks do? I think either way, I think if they win the Super Bowl, which I doubt it,
That was my only
I
thing.
think Brady retires. But if they don't win the Super Bowl, Brady's out, and I give him one more year with a different organization, then he's done.
Yeah, that,
Um,
good.
yeah. So I'm gonna take Dallas out of this matchup here.
Yeah, and those are beautiful questions and those are mad realistic questions. I was in a franchise not too long ago with the Bucks, and I just was scratching my head like, what the heck to do? What the heck to do? Brady, I believe Brady won't retire, but I believe if he doesn't retire, he won't be on the Bucks. The Bucks are the base is starting to weaken a little bit. That defense is starting to age a little bit. The coach isn't as reliable, isn't as proven. The weapons are getting older.
That whole
The
team is getting old.
Yes, the line would be a lot better next year. Their center has been out all year. He's a Pro Bowler. That would help a lot. Their right tackle's been out for a lot of the season. But as far as the Bucks' future, I think they have a lot of potential. You have a lot of, I believe, trade package or trade bait. I believe you can do it that way. I mean, this division isn't that difficult, and if you get a dual threat along with these weapons, I mean, it maximizes what this team can really do. You add Scotty Miller to more of the equation, add more speed because I believe that's the biggest issue. They tried to go a lot of tight ends the last couple of years because that's Brady's bread and butter. But I believe more speed on the field will and more slots, which is crazy to me that the Bucks don't have more slots and technicians. But they have big bodies, and these big bodies. Mike Evans is religiously 1,000-yard receiver, so I could see a mediocre quarterback coming on to the Bucks, or even a draft pick with a bridge quarterback, and this Bucks team still be legit.
Only thing I
mean,
say is Godwin is a slot receiver for them.
When you got Godwin and Mike Evans, I mean that's a come on, that's a duo that we put up there with when you ranking the best duos in football, they're at least going to be in the top 10, maybe like tops. We're talking like top 7
Yeah.
duos in football. So
Yes.
I mean, you got at least some form of foundation there. And then they got some young pieces on defense that is either coming up to get paid or they paid.
Mhm.
I think they paid Carlton Davis.
Yes.
Devin White has digressed just
Just
a
a
little
smidge.
bit.
Yeah.
He wasn't like he did that Super Bowl year. He was going out crazy. Vita Vea, I mean, he's a monster.
He's
And then
progressive.
what's the safety in
Woodfield or
Winfield Jr.
Winfield.
Yeah, so they got Winfield Jr. So they got playmakers on different levels of the football. But yeah, again, we'll get into them in the off season. So both of y'all got this Bucks and Cowboys game.
Yes. The most intriguing.
Okay. Well, I actually thought y'all was gonna go. I actually thought y'all was gonna go something a little different, but I'm
Like
gonna
who?
go.
Jags Chargers.
I thought so.
That is intriguing. That's my second. That's second.
That's my
Um,
upset.
That's my upset too. We gonna get there though. We gonna get there. So mine is my most intriguing one is the Giants and Vikings. Because the Giants and I feel like Giants fans and even the Giants themselves didn't expect them to get this far. They did not expect themselves to be here. They exceeded all expectations. And the way Dayball is coaching, he is definitely in consideration of coach of the year for sure. If not the coach of the year. I mean, I see this team upsetting the Vikings, and I said it. I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks. If the Giants have to play the Vikings, the Giants will win this game. And I see Dayball not just settling for this win. I mean, not just settling to get to the wild card. He's like, okay, they counted us out to get here. We exceeded all expectations, but we're not finished. Let's get through this game and let's get to the next one and the next one and the next one because we can win the Super Bowl. That's what he's saying to his team. Obviously, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I do think they're going to win this game and not accept just getting to the wild card. I honestly see, um, I honestly see that the Giants putting a lot of pressure on them, and I can see Kirk Cousins throwing a couple of picks in this game. Um, Either Landon Collins, hopefully they get a Dory Jackson back, and the Giants. That's going to be the most intriguing game because I think the Giants are going to upset them.
I have no pushback because coming very, very soon is a shit on fest. So these Vikings and Kirk Cousins are the most likely to get upset from me round one. Ding, ding, ding. So
We'll get into it.
I'm gonna get into it.
I
Oh,
will
go
say
ahead,
this.
Go ahead, Don.
My bad. I will say this. I agree with you. I will say this. The only shot I give the Vikings if Justin Jefferson goes off because he's that type of talent that if he goes off, he can wreck a whole game for a team and at least win his team one game. I don't have that. I'm picking the Giants also. I have no faith in the Vikings, but that was my only thing is Justin Jefferson could make it interesting. I give them that.
Yes. Now, You make a valid point, and I'll start right there because Jefferson is an issue. Jefferson is their biggest strength, and he also will be. Again, I'm gonna reveal it now. My biggest weakness for these Vikings because when you want to force feed this guy, it becomes an issue. I believe you need to lean on, to me, maybe your second best player on your roster, Dalvin Cook. Lean on that run game a little bit. Maybe get him out on the edge, more screens to slow down this pass rush. First off, because they're going to be coming after him. And Thibodeau, and you highlighted Dexter Lawrence, like they can wreak some habit on this Vikings offensive line. And for me, I seen Kirk Cousins play a clean game against the Giants, and they only won by 3 early in this year. This Vikings defense isn't something to, to fear if you're the Giants. Yes, they don't have perimeter weapons and et cetera. But what's his name? Saquon had 13. My fault. Saquon had over 100 yards of scrimmage, 84 rushing, and then about 39 receiving. Now, the thing is, I don't believe there's someone outside of Jefferson that can beat one-on-one matchups. And you might say, Hawkinson, their tight end, because last time he did kill him, 13 catches, 16 targets, 2 touchdowns. He killed him. But I believe that will be a recipe that is going to be hard to duplicate. Jefferson went off as well. And force feeding, I believe, will be the biggest flaw of these Vikings with Jefferson, because Kirk Cousins in clutch games, he's going to put the ball in harm's way. And we're talking about Kayvon Thibodeau without a sack last time. These are different things that I believe won't happen again. He'll have a sack. I believe Jefferson can't go off twice against this team in one. I believe him going off will be, detrimental to the Vikings because it will come with not as much efficiency with it. I believe dinking and dunking against this Giant team is the best formula as opposed to big plays. And this Vikings team is a big play threat team, and they're predicated off of that. And I just don't see it happening. Along with the fact that the Giants, I mean, come on now, the Giants with Dable, they're to me they're the better coach team. And you can call, I'm not sure brother's name from the Vikings. I'm more of a mastermind, more of an X's and O's type of coach. In certain matchups, we spoke on the last week, you talking mastermind against a motivator. Well, Dable's an elite motivator. He reminds me of the Lions coach. And I believe that can go far with a young team with nothing to lose. So let's see what it is. But I got the Giants as well.
All right, so let's get into the team that is most likely to get upset.
Yes. That's one for me. What y'all got?
Um, I got I got the Jags over the Chargers, to be honest with you. But I will lead off by saying I can see it going the other way also. But I say this: the Chargers are 1 point favorite, and it, it's really nitpicking because these teams are close. Like it really ain't no real definitive thing to say like, oh, I'm picking them because of this, like how you could say for the Vikings. But I feel like Trevor Lawrence is. I honestly feel like this Jaguars team is a young Bengals team. To be honest with you, like I really do feel like that. I don't think they're making it to the Super Bowl, but I think they can get out the first round. Like Trevor Lawrence, he's good enough to go head to head against Justin Herbert and come out on top. I mean, shoot, Darius was just calling him Peyton Manning 2.0. I wanted to,
I could see him being Manning 2.0 like he's still young. I mean, he's only second year in the league, but yeah, I can definitely see it.
I mean, and I was watching First Things First earlier, and Nick Wright put up the graphic of Peyton Manning and Lawrence, and Lawrence had in their second years, Lawrence had better statistics. But so I'm just not ready to say that he's going to be Peyton Manning. But I mean, he's good. I give him that. He's top 10 already. My only issue with the Chargers is their rushing defense. They're ranked 28th, and the Jags do have ETN, who is a good young running back, and so I get it. The Jags passing defense is not pretty good, but it seems like week after week, the Jags defense comes up with plays after plays when it matters to help this team win. And we just saw that last week when your boy Mike decided to say he was going to be back here if they won. But
Big
hey,
Mike,
yeah, we see he's not here, so that's good.
please stand up.
What
Please
went
stand
on?
up.
Hey, shout out Mike, man. But we know why he's not here right
Hey,
now.
so I'm saying like the offense struggled against the Titans, and the defense still found a way to pull it together, come up with a strip sack when it mattered, and
Mhm.
it tightened up in the second half. We don't know how Justin Herbert is in like crunch time in playoffs. We haven't seen it. Hey, at least Trevor Lawrence, and I get his play. It was college. At least we've seen him on the biggest stages under pressure, and Bro does ball most of the time.
This is a man's game. I said it last week. Are you serious? Yo, hell nah. That's just, yo, this is a man's game. NFL experience in the playoff is totally different. Both of these guys, we don't know what they'll do when it comes down to crunch time, playoff atmosphere, specifically. Because Justin Herbert in the regular season was throwing the game away in the red zone. Let's not forget. But goodness.
So who are you picking?
That's a tough one. I ain't gonna lie.
You've been on them
I'm a
Chargers
pick-
all
Hey,
year.
that's what I was just about to say.
The
He's been a
match-
Chargers fan, and now he don't know.
Jimmy been his third team has been his first team is the Patriots. Then he got the Bucks. Then his third team is the Chargers.
Hey, and don't forget if Brady go to the Jets, he'll have the Jets and Patriots gear on
he
together.
got he got the Jets and
then you gotta eliminate the Bucks because it's by default. I go where Brady goes. Now, Chargers, I do give them a lot of love, but it's only because I know Justin's only missing one thing, that coach. And that coach ain't there yet. So it makes it very difficult because I believe the coach matchup is won by Dougie P. And Dougie P will win the coaching matchup a lot of these rounds up until he plays Andy Reid. I take Dougie P. So with that being said, who's a better defense?
Quick question.
What's
Quick
up?
question, because that just sparked something in my mind. You taking Peterson over Sean McDermott?
Yes, I am. That's a real strong, but he's the second real strong. But yes, I am. Dougie P. I'm still taking Dougie P.
Zach Taylor?
Oh, of course.
Oh, well, you might want to slow down on that one. John Harbaugh?
Yes. I don't like his late game decision making, especially offensively.
Am I missing one? Oh, McDaniels down there
Yes.
in Miami.
Oh, of course, it's young behind. Y'all didn't know. Y'all don't remember what I said about this one. I think he will be, the worst version of Kyle.
So the only coach that you taking over him is Andy Reid.
With my chest.
That is crazy. But
why is
you
this
go
so
ahead,
crazy?
Darius.
Who else is the Super Bowl winner?
Bro, John Harbaugh is the Super Bowl winner.
Okay, Lamar, maybe.
Wait, so he said you're not taking no other coach over Dougie P besides Andy Reid.
Yes, in the AFC specifically. Maybe
Mike Tomlin.
No, he's not even.
He's talking about the ones in the playoffs. He's talking about the ones in the
playoffs. One in the
but
playoffs.
I'll take Mike Bill. And Big Bill. Come on, Big Bill. Come on, huh?
But they're not in the playoffs either. So
yeah, they're not. But if I would have said him too.
I still think it's crazy. I would still take McDermott. Sean McDermott and no, I'm talking about AFC wise. I take
AFC wise.
Yeah, I take McDermott and Zach Taylor. Like, I get it. He's had this one season. He's rejuvenated. He's rejuvenated this Jacksonville team. But put some. You gotta start putting some respect on Zach Taylor. I get it. Y'all not the biggest Zach Taylor fan. And I say this: Zach Taylor has improved year in and year out, and he's gotten this team to back-to-back division crowns, something Bengals never done in the history of the Bengals. So, you got to start giving this man some credit.
Dougie P.
Well, I don't know any other Bengals coach besides Zach Taylor and goddamn Marvin Lewis. And we know let's not even get what Marvin Lewis has done to that organization. But I got no pushback on that because Zach Taylor has done well with what he's had, and he's drafted very well. So I got to get we can't poo-poo Zach. We all know he's not the greatest, but he's not the best. I mean, he's not the worst. He's not the best. He's like very mid.
He's a top 10 quarterback. I mean, top 10 coach.
He's a no.
He's top 10.
He's like that next tier of like
11
15. through
He's
See,
on a
you
Derek
get
Carr.
see, you gonna make me
Yeah.
have to ask you 10 coaches that's
Average.
better, and I guarantee you're not gonna be able to say 10 definitive. You might come up with 5 definitive, but you're not gonna. Once you
We
get
gonna
to that
come up with
eight,
9,
once you get
10.
to that 8 to 9 to 10 range, it's gonna be like, I don't know about that one.
I can name 10 coaches.
Who you got?
Yo,
Do I
Pete,
really have to get it? All right,
Yes,
all right.
Pete,
So let's get
Tomlin,
it. Let's get
Belichick,
into it. So we're gonna go Big Bill, Andy
Belichick,
Reid,
mhm,
uh,
Tomlin,
Tomlin,
Kyle,
Kyle Shanahan,
fake Sean, real Sean,
Sean McDermott. I'll go Sean McVay,
Pete Carroll.
Hey, well,
Never
hold on,
said
hold
it.
on,
Pete
hold
Carroll.
on. Pete Carroll's not better than him. Stop it.
Pete
The
Carroll
We're not
just
defense.
got
going.
the Seahawks to the playoffs.
We not barely. They needed help to get there. We're not doing
Barely.
that.
And he
We're
has
not
Super
doing that.
Bowls behind
Okay, and
him.
he has a Super Bowl. So
We're
that's
not
that's
doing that.
7 right there. Who else am I missing?
You
I'll
said
take
you said
I'll
Sean
take
you
the
said Sean McVay. I didn't agree with that one either. And you said Sean McDermott. I don't. What
He
has
beat
Sean
him head to
McDermott?
head.
What has Sean McDermott done?
he's consistently got his team to the playoffs every year.
And so has Zach Taylor since for the
Okay,
last
but
2 years they've been
we're
there.
not saying
But
but this okay, but that we're not finished yet. That's 7 right there. That's 7 right there.
It's defense.
It who else we got?
Sirianni.
that's a
Sirianni
1 year
for
sample
the
size.
Eagles.
Yeah. But
Really?
y'all just said he was better than Bill Belichick. I don't want to hear that.
Who said
After
he was
last
better
week.
than Bill
Last
Belichick?
week, y'all just said
Don't say
Stefanski
yeah. I
and
did
Dable.
not get into that
Dable.
But
conversation with you.
hold on.
But I
Okay,
am taking
Dave,
Vrabel.
Dave, hold on right quick. Just because I said
Vrabel.
that doesn't mean that I don't think Zach Taylor is better than Bill Belichick right now. So two things can be true. I said that last week, and it still remains the same for this week also.
You know what? Not now that I'm at 8. Now that I'm at 8, I could say Zach Taylor is a top 10. Now that I'm at 8,
Damn, we lost head of steam. But we was spitting them, cuz.
because I don't think Nick Sirianni's that better of a coach than Zach.
Okay.
Um,
I'm reaching here.
How about this? How about this? I got you. You got Andy
John
Reid.
Harbaugh.
No,
John.
hell to the no, hell to the no.
I think John
John
because he has
Harbaugh is not
pedigree
a bit.
Yes,
and
pedigree.
he's continuously got his
Then
team to
why
the
does his
playoffs every
team
year.
keep blowing leads if he has that pedigree?
Quarterback.
I'll give Zach 10. I'll give
You know
Zach
we're
10.
gonna have to
Right,
do.
right.
You know we're going to have to do in the off season. We're gonna have to have a ranking show because
Yes.
Yep.
I
I
like that.
mean y'all are. I you know what? Darius, just go ahead with your most likely to upset.
We're gonna definitely get that. We're gonna definitely get that. So I got the Chargers in Jacksonville. I got Jacksonville over the Chargers as well. You already know WP in the place to be. He got his team. He got his team to the playoffs, man. Like I said it, man. But I think Brandon Staley he's just showing his inexperience, man. Why wouldn't you sit your starters last week? Not sitting your starters last week caused Bosa to get hurt, Mike Williams to get hurt, Kenneth Murray to get hurt. These are 3 big players that you're gonna need for the next week. I get it. You want guys in order to be good at football, in order to to get into football shape, you must play football. You got to play, and you don't want to rest them for the whole game, but at least half the game. That game didn't matter. But Don said a good example as well. The Chargers' run defense is horrible, and Travis Etienne is a good football player, and I think he's going to run up and down this defense. Um, but the thing is, we need Trevor to elevate his game in this offense. But when ETN, we've noticed when ETN is having his big games, it opens up the passing game for Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, for Trevor Lawrence to get his game going as well. And the Chargers lately they just haven't been looking like a high powered off. Besides Austin Eckler, Justin Herbert hasn't been like that guy lately. And I mean, that offense should be better than what it is.
I
And
agree.
and they should be putting up more points than what they do. They go a lot
The
more.
OC.
They have a lot of 3 and outs more than touchdowns. So, and that may not be a fact, but for what I've seen when I do watch the games, uh, they should be scoring more points. And that Mike Williams isn't making as many deep threat plays as he used to. Keenan Allen just gets a whole bunch of targets. I mean, besides Austin Eckler with the explosive plays, they're not really making them. So I
Spot
got the
on.
Jags. I got the Jags upsetting, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers won as well because they are pretty evenly matched.
Definitely. Well said. Well said, fellas. Are y'all ready to run it down with the bold predictions? 5 of them for this year's playoffs. What's up?
One of y'all can go ahead.
All right. So we got bold predictions. Bold predictions. All right. So here's my predictions, man. Here's my predictions. I got number one, the Cowboys. They're gonna beat the Bucks, but they're gonna get destroyed by the 49ers. Destroyed. I'm gonna predict 28-7.
Wow.
They
I
they
think
would they so you got them beating the Eagles then? Because they got to play the Eagles before they would get to the 49ers.
Would
I,
they?
Yeah, because they're the fifth seed. The Vikings are the third. So, oh no. We're counting the Vikings are gonna lose.
To the
So
Giants.
yeah, you're
yeah.
right. Damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I think the Cowboys are gonna play the 49ers and they're gonna get destroyed by the 49ers. Then I'm gonna go with something like I say CMC is gonna lead the entire playoffs in rushing yards. I think he's gonna run up and down these teams and he's gonna play well. And then I got another one. This is for Don, man. I think the Ravens struggle big versus the Bengals. And I think Lamar struggles after missing time, only because of the simple fact he's missed a lot of time and he's coming back just for the playoffs.
See, Darius, I
Um,
knew I liked you.
I,
You know what I'm saying? Just
I,
keep
get-
that.
I got to
Just
give him
keep that
one.
energy for next week also.
And then I got to go with Philly beating the 49ers in the NFC Championship. They're going to
Mm.
stop the run. I say they're going to sack Purdy at least 3 times. And then Purdy's going to throw at least one interception. He's going to struggle with this defense, this Eagles defense. And the Eagles are going to play, you know, my Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl for number 5. I got the Bills finally beating the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, wins the Super Bowl versus the Eagles in a very close game. That's
Don
gonna be
got
my
very
that's
uncomfortable.
gonna be my bold predictions right there because we know Don got them bum ass Bengals in there and they not making it. They not making it.
Yo, Don got mad
Yeah.
uncomfortable real quick.
Yo, I thought me and him was on the same page, and then I was just sitting here chilling. I was just like, "Oh yeah, Darius, go ahead, spit." And then he come up with that nonsense there, and it's just like, nah, nigga, shut up. I ain't about to hear that.
Yo,
Hey, Buffalo's still out here, man.
Hey, so is the Bengals.
We
y'all
gonna
both
see.
are here. Y'all both are here. And this is tough for me to say, but I just have a feeling that these Cowboys will finally break the curse. The curse that has been around since my lifetime, since my lifespan. Yes. If when they play Monday, I'm gonna take the Cowboys to beat the Bucks. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if that goat came
Wow.
through. And it's hard going against you, man.
We
But
definitely got to clap it up after that. After this whole year, him defending Brady,
the
the
matchup,
whole
Hey, for
year
real.
saying Brady's the GOAT
in the playoffs.
Hey, and you said you can
in the
never count this man
playoffs.
out in the playoffs.
It's
And here he
crazy.
go,
My
counting
heart
him out.
and
He
my
switched up
mind.
on Brady. He switched up on the Pats, saying he gonna wear a Jets and Patriots jersey mixture. He
Because
switched
of
up
him.
on the Bills. Wow,
Oh, Jesus.
crazy.
I can't let my heart get in the way. I
Jimmy
cannot
ain't stay
let
lower than
my
none of
heart.
them.
I cannot let my heart get in the way. The heart is a beautiful thing, but it damn sure can be a tragic thing as well. So now, from
Crazy.
there I go. The curse is over for the Cowboys. That's my bold. Remember, this is bold. Okay, so the curse is over for the Cowboys, and from there I go. The Chiefs' defense, they finally find a sense of consistency. The shootouts are gone. Efficiency is the name of the game for the Chiefs this year, and I believe that will come with the defense that has the mindset that backs an efficient offense. From there, we will go to number three, upsets within the division matchups. I believe it will happen to one of y'all. I don't know if it's going to be y'all, the Bengals, Ravens. I don't know if it's going to
Don't
be the
point down here.
49ers with the Seahawks. I don't know if
Don't
it's going to
point
be the
down here.
Dolphins and the Bills, but one of y'all are going down. It is hard to beat a team or to see a team three times. Not sure who. I know y'all. Wait, no, y'all lost to the Ravens one time, so y'all split.
Yes, sir. I'm not worried about that.
The
Yeah,
49ers
go to the
Seahawks, right?
Buffalo, go to Buffalo, and go to the
Buffalo.
49ers to
Yes.
go over there.
Beating them three times is very difficult. Very difficult. And I predict one of these teams will get the upset. And then from there, we go ground and pound. The ground and pound will be appreciated once again on the NFC first, and then sprinkle it in at the tail end of the AFC tournament. The AFC conference games, those will be full of rushing attempts. And we will appreciate the ground and pound like we used to. And number five, I got the bye week will hurt Jalen Hurts. I seen him rusty last week, and a bye week don't help Rust knock off. I would need to see you play again. It would have been better to see them as the number 2 seed and see him get some of that rust off, or see him come back a week earlier than what he actually did. So that's my fifth bold prediction.
I like that last one a lot. Like I really do. Boy, it kind of mirrors itself to mine. My first one. Eagles will lose in the second round.
Wow. To
Um,
who?
well, let
Sheesh.
me preface this by this: if if the Vikings beat the Giants, Cowboys would do it. I I don't know if I
Mm,
got any faith in the Giants doing it, to be honest with you. So it would have to be the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are the only one that could do it in that second round. Um, one of my other bold predictions: if the Chargers beat the Jags, Chargers will beat the Chiefs in the second round. They get mighty close every single time, and I think they pull it out with Justin Herbert.
In
Um,
his first career playoff?
hey,
In his first
hey,
career playoff run?
hey,
Wow.
Burrow did it.
baby goat. Wow.
Burrow did it. Um, I also have Purdy struggles in the playoffs, but the defense carries them.
Mm.
Mm.
Um, I also have Tua comes back and scares and puts a scare up against the Buffalo Bills. Maybe beats them. Maybe. And
That ain't gonna be good
I,
for them.
I could not finish my last one without speaking about the best team in the
Oh
NFL.
my God.
You know, um, what can I say?
I think they
It's
were
hard.
third in their conference, but
Mm, record really doesn't indicate who's the better
Given the
team.
division, basically,
okay.
but
Record doesn't give it.
basically,
Give
Lamar. But
Lamar. You know what? I'm not gonna let you sidetrack me off of what I was gonna say. Back to because y'all want to hate. I'm trying to be great over here. I have the Bengals winning the Super Bowl. First off, beating those sorry birds up there in Baltimore. Then traveling, would that be? We're just traveling to Buffalo, stumping out the Bills. Then going to Kansas City again and beating the brakes up off Patrick Mahomes for a fourth time. Since you said that it can't happen, and
Wow.
Joey B, we trust. And I'll say this: if Justin Herbert does do the job for us, then we'll stump out Justin Herbert. It doesn't make me no different. Then we make it to the Super Bowl in Phoenix, you know, even if it's the 49ers or the Eagles or the Cowboys, we waxing that ass.
what? Yo,
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I will.
this is a
They,
bold segment.
this is a very bold segment, but I'm not gonna lie. If the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl, I will give you credit. They'll beat any NFC team,
That's a fact.
but I think the AFC is going to take it no matter what. I think the Bills, if they make they'll make it a close game. It'll be a close game. Um, if the Chiefs make it, I think the Chiefs could win by a couple of touchdowns. But I think if the Bengals make it could potentially be like that. I won't say the Seahawks in that Broncos Super Bowl, but because their defense isn't like that Seahawks defense, but I could see them putting up a lot of points. Or any one of those even the 49ers, I think they could put up a lot of points.
I like that. I like that.
You agree, Jimmy?
I can't push back on the weapons. Weapons here, weapons there, weapons everywhere.
There we go. Y'all, you see, y'all gotta stop.
But I'm not saying they're gonna win the Super Bowl. Don't get it twisted.
Sure. I'm still going to Buffalo Bills.
But I can see it happening. I mean, y'all are nice. Can't lie.
So everyone's Super Bowl prediction. So we all know Don's going with the Bengals. You got to go with his team.
Yes.
Jimmy, you're going with the Chiefs now, right?
The Chiefs, yes. My homies.
So you got the Bills, you got the Chiefs, and I got the Bengals. Oh, this should be
all three of those are the top dogs of the AFC. So,
so who you got coming out the NFC? Since I know your Bucks prediction is different now.
It's tough, man. I got to go with the Eagles. It's very difficult, man. Like, cause it just like my heart is like, bro, what are you doing? He's knocking upstairs, like, bro, what are you doing to the mind? But my mind tells me the Eagles. The Eagles just look beautiful. They really do. I think the rust isn't gonna play a big role in what the Eagles, accomplish in the NFC. I believe the rust will play. It'll have some. You know how I feel about adversity, and when you're rusty, that a lot of chirping here. If they play the Parsons, Jalen's gonna remember what that man said. Jalen's very motivated. So the Eagles, I mean,
I think the Cowboys will be motivated to whip their ass too. You got
the Eagles.
So you got Eagles and Bucks. Eagles and Bills. I mean,
if the Bucks cannot break my heart, make me happy and beat the Cowboys and prove me wrong, I got the Eagles losing to the Chiefs.
If the Bucks beat the Cowboys, you rolling with the Bucks?
Also got the Bucks. If the Bucks beat the Cowboys, y'all are in trouble because that means playoff Lenny is here and the GOAT is not falling.
Who is in trouble?
Everyone, including the Bengals. That's what I said. The Bucks. Because if Joey B, the Brady-ass guy, faces Brady, oh my gosh, it'll be so beautiful seeing Brady go against all these young guys. Just get an opportunity. You take a chance. Who's next?
Hey, you see this hat I got on right here?
Oh gosh, what is that? Is that foreshadowing? We're like
that was last year one, but I had to wear.
Okay.
I had to wear it for this one because I know we was doing bold predictions, and I just knew that this hat is going to be. It's not going to be no good. I'm gonna have to get another one for next year, and it's going to have a different. It's going. And then this time it's going to. And then this hat right here, where it just say conference champion. It's going to say Super Bowl champion. But hey,
that space looks really good.
Hey,
blank space.
if you want to keep on hollering about Brady, I welcome to see the Bucks again in the Super Bowl.
I would love
so Darius, who you got in the NFC?
I got the Eagles. I got Bills Eagles Super Bowl. That's gonna be a tough battle.
Bills Eagles Chiefs Eagles. I got Bengals 49ers. And the Bengals blowing them out.
Damn.
I can't disagree with the Bengals blowing out anybody, and if they play any of them.
I mean, we saw the Chiefs do it to them.
There's levels to this young man. There's levels.
Yeah, you're right. There's levels. It is levels. Hey, them weapons out there ain't got nothing to do with the weapons out there in Cincinnati. I can promise you that.
Yeah. I got the top tier weapons. You're right, but I don't know.
And we got a top tier QB.
For sure. But I try to get Patrick Mahomes. Like we seen Patrick Mahomes under pressure, and we seen him still perform smacking dudes in the face mask. I just don't believe Joe Burrow is capable of the same if the time, where his line isn't doing his thing presents itself. That left tackle is out.
I agree.
And Alex Kappa might be out too.
Right guard. or
Might
left
just
guard.
be out this weekend, hopefully. But we've been having injuries all season, and next man stepped up every single time. So
Yeah,
nothing,
because there's so
nothing
many
else.
of them. There's so many of them to lean on. It's just so
Hey,
much.
next man up.
Let's get into this last topic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The juicy one. The home run. One strength, one weakness for all of the playoff contenders. We are in fine territory to make a dream happen. Let's run it down. Let's spit.
All
Let's
right,
get
so we're gonna do one team each, and then we'll all go for the last team, um, and we will have rebuttals as well. So I'll start it off with the Chargers. The Chargers' strength. They got some talented players. They got the big names. They got Herbert. They got Keenan Allen. They got Mike Williams. We know Austin Eckler's a dog. Everett, who's having a career year this year. Joey Bosa, um, Mac, Derwin James, and so they definitely got the talent. But my issue with them is that they just don't put together like big wins. They don't win big games. And honestly, they only beat one playoff team this year, and that was the Dolphins. Other than that, I think every team that's in the playoffs now, I think they played four of them, and they lost all those games. Um, and again, this brings me back to my point before. They haven't been looking like the high-powered offense that that they should be. Um, they don't get down the field consistently. Besides Eckler making these big runs or receiving touchdowns, I mean, it's just not consistent enough. And honestly, the only way they can win the Super Bowl is if they continue to put points on the board because they can be had on defense.
yes.
And they need to Herbert needs to elevate his game by making big time throws. Because once the playoff time comes, I mean, I can see them putting the ball in Eckler's hand 20 plus times a game and them winning, but Herbert has to elevate his game as well.
That's a
Next,
fact.
n- yeah, anything on that?
I honestly, for the Chargers, I said their strength is Herbert is a top four QB to me, and he can go toe to toe with anyone. Their weakness, their defense. I mean, they're hit and miss. One week, like we saw what them do with the Dolphins, they're hitting it. And other weeks, they just giving up yards left and right. And I felt like the only way they can make it to the Super Bowl is if they just ride Justin Herbert to the Super Bowl. Pause. But I mean, that's all they can do. To be honest with you, that's their only way to get to the Super Bowl.
I believe y'all hit it on the head. The closing ability for the Chargers is the biggest issue. The closing ability of their best player and the closing ability of this franchise as a whole. We are not shocked. We wouldn't have been shocked if the Chargers didn't make the playoffs. That's because this franchise comes up small around this time of the year. The biggest weakness, I mean, biggest strength, yes, you said it, the top end talent, the perimeter on both sides of the ball. They're able to make plays, keep them in the game, and flip the field. Other than that, I can't even push back.
We got the Jags. What you got on this, Jimmy?
Man, those Jags, for me, they're, I already said it. Coach Dougie P is their strength, their biggest strength. The combination is, we could speak on that, but I'd rather speak on that in a couple of years when Trevor's more proven. Dougie P is proven and more proven than any of these AFC coaches, again, besides Andy Reid. And that is their biggest strength. Their biggest weakness is their youth. This is the time, we said it last week, to set a precedent, set the tone for this next decade. And this is again another week to do that. You're not favored, but it's not that big of a gap when it comes to what this team, the Chargers, are capable of and what you're capable of. The youth will be the determining factor in what this Jaguars teams can do this year.
Yeah, I actually said the same exact thing, man. For the Jags, I had Dougie P as being their strength. You got that pedigree. You got the mastermind back there as far as an offensive mind. And he also can galvanize the troops as well. We love that.
Yeah.
I honestly think this team needs to, they need to utilize Travis Etienne. I think that's the biggest piece of this offense, because it takes a lot of pressure off Trevor and opens up the field for him to throw the ball when he needs to. Um, and I think their weakness, you hit this right on the money, is their inexperience.
Mm,
They played Josh Dobbs to get into the playoffs, right? I mean, it was a tough game, but it's Josh Dobbs. That could have been any other quarterback, and they could have easily lost that game.
facts.
So, and then they're gonna have to go against Burrow, Mahomes, and Josh Allen. Like, come on, these are the
So,
and they're playing Justin Herbert this week. So,
mhm.
I mean, in order for them to win, for them to win the Super Bowl, Dougie P has to understand that they are the underdogs, just like he was with that Philly team, and he has to galvanize the troops and get them going. That's the
That's a fact.
that's how I see it.
That's a fact.
Um, for the Jags, we all hit it on the head. I got Peterson having experience in the playoffs. Like he knows how to he's gonna know how to motivate these guys to get ready for this game, and he's gonna know what works in the playoffs and what doesn't work in the playoffs. But for their weakness, I got lack of experience. I don't know how many of them have actually been in the playoffs, to be honest with you. And then their defense allows a lot of passing yards. And like Darius just said, you're going to have to see Burrow, you're going to have to see Mahomes, Herbert this week, and Allen. How is that going to work out for y'all versus some teams that have some high-powered offenses? Like I don't know how that's going to work for y'all. And I put for the only way that they could make it to the Super Bowl was they go on a magical run like the Bengals did last year. But I'm not going to say that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I can't see it either. Next team we got is the Ravens. What you got, Don?
Yeah, you would do some nonsense like this. Oh,
Come on, say
I
something
only
nice. Say something nice about the Ravens.
um,
Jeez.
it's hard too. I don't like none of these teams in my division. Um, I would say this: they have a defense that's top 10. I mean, top 10 in most categories, whether it's pass TDs, rush TDs, top 5 in sacks. So I give them that. Their defense is pretty good. Joe Burrow's gonna light them up this weekend, but that's here nor there. Offense, I mean, the weakness, offense is putrid. Even with Lamar, they can't pass. I mean, I don't know if y'all watched that game this past weekend. I mean, it took him about to either the fourth quarter just to get a wide receiver the ball. I get it was a third string quarterback, but Jesus, these boys do not get no type of separation. And you think I'm gonna have faith in them? I can't do it. Uh, the only way they make it to the only way to make it to Super Bowl is they can't make it to the Super Bowl because they have to play the Bengals in the first round. So there y'all go. I said something nice
Oh
for one.
my goodness.
Wow. Wow. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Now, this is gonna be tough for me too, but I mean, fresh Lamar. I mean, fresh legs. When you rely on your legs, I think that's the biggest pro or the biggest strength for these Ravens, and that's if Lamar plays.
Even
Looking at
being
it,
out a month,
yes, legs. Oh my goodness! Just imagine the jump shot. Fresh after some fresh legs. You got your shots up, but your legs are fresh. I don't have to.
legs might be
I don't.
stiff.
I don't know. It's Lamar. He's ready. He has something to prove still, and that's the question mark I have there. Because if he doesn't play, I question why. I'm sorry here. I don't want to speculate or cause conspiracy theories here, but you've been out for a long time here, and your money's on the line as well. And you're trying to fight for a contract. Maybe they have to do it with each other, but I'll get into it another time. So that, and then we go the big playability, the explosiveness is minimized because of their defense. Their defense, you spoke on it. They have a top 10 ish potential. And I believe they'll be able to, if they're not playing too aggressive, they're not blitzing too much. I don't think that's the formula against Joe Burrow and this team. I think you bend but don't break and hope for some field goals in the red zone area. And that defense, I think they're capable of it, but just getting it done will be very difficult.
Yeah, yeah. I had them for their strength is definitely their run game. With Lamar, their run game elevates. It becomes better. And then J.K. Dobbins, he's not playing bad. And then hopefully Lamar and Mark Andrews can get a connection. Lately, Andrews hasn't really been a factor in this offense, but we know at certain times we were considering him as the number two tight end in the league at above Kittle.
Yes.
And obviously Kittle is the old Kittle right now. He's playing like the old Kittle. Um, but I think their weakness is when you got to force Lamar to pass. He they struggle, and they don't have the playmakers for him to even really get these guys the football. Besides the tight ends like Likely and Andrews,
Right.
in order for them to get to the Super Bowl, which I don't think they will, because my bold prediction is that they're gonna struggle. Is they got to control the clock and they have to play defense, and their defense has picked it up, but I just think offensively they're just not that good.
You couldn't have said it better.
And I will start it off. I should have switched this, man. I should have let Don take this one and me start off with the Ravens. But I started off. I say something nice about the Bengals. I gotta give it once.
Only
once in
positivity on this segment.
Positive vibes, positive vibes. So we're gonna go with the strengths. I mean, come on now. They got Joe Burrow. Man. High-powered offense. He got Jamar Chase. You got T. Higgins. I'm gonna keep saying that he could be a number one on any team. Hey man, when you want to get paid, come to Atlanta, man. We'll take it.
Jesus. This is not a recruiting segment.
Burrow with his clutch ability, man, and his ability to lead these guys open. He can throw the passes to get these guys open as well. Because he throws dimes. But I think their weaknesses currently, they lost Lyle Collins for the season. We don't know if Alex Cap is going to play this week, and your boy Eli Apple, I think he's starting. So that's definitely a weakness
He's
because
been starting all year, bro.
I mean he can sometimes get cooked up.
Put some respect on that man's name. I promise you. I'm gonna show you the stats of Eli Apple. I'm gonna send it in the group chat.
Yes, send them stats, man, because we
y'all,
gotta see.
Y'all gonna have to start putting some respect on Eli. I mean, he a little goofy, but bruh do his job.
Well, we're gonna see. In order for them to make the Super Bowl, they gotta do what they did last year. Just score points, man. Continue to score points.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm interested to hear this.
It's pretty, consistent here. Weapons everywhere. Weapons here, weapons there. That's what Joe Burrow has, and that's what the biggest strength of these Bengals are. It's a beautiful thing, and it's hard to match. When someone gets the Bengals on, man, I'm like I want to reset because I got to pick a certain matchup to match the points that you're going to put up on the board. And these Bengals can do it in real life and in the game situation too. And you're talking about Jamar Chase doubled or not, T. Higgins doubled or not. They've seen a lot of different coverages. You pointed it out last week, and that's why I believe Jefferson is the better receiver. But neither here nor there. Their weakness, the Bengals' weakness, is the pass defense, specifically the back end. I believe shootouts can be had. I believe shootouts will happen against this team. This team is better at stopping the run than they are at stopping the pass. And in order to get to that Super Bowl, you're going to have to stop that pass or match it when it comes to Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and your weapons. We will see. What's up, Don?
I was rocking with you that last statement. Honestly, yeah, you could say our secondary doesn't have the names, but we got Jesse Bates, we got Von Bell back there, arguably top 5 safety duo back there. They clean up some of the mistakes. I will say this. Our corners, they are who they are. I mean, Cam Taylor-Britt, he's gonna get a little bit better. I say this. I'm not worried about the secondary, to be honest with you. I'm not worried about the defense. But as far as our biggest strength, this is the most complete team in the AFC. Honestly, I mean, to me, they got the best quarterback in the league, and we've saw what Joe can do under pressure in the playoffs. Bro delivers. It's no doubt in my mind that if it comes down to it with a shootout versus any of those guys, I'm taking Joey B. And honestly, I don't really worry about our defense because our defense have had Patrick Mahomes' number, regardless of who's been in that secondary. They know how to scheme for him. Um, as far as a weakness, same thing as Darius. The injuries are starting to pile up. I can't lie. I mean, you talk about we revamped that whole offensive line, and two of our main people are out now. So now you about to have two. I ain't gonna say unknowns, but two people that haven't been on the offensive line all season on that right side. I don't know how that's gonna bode. And then to make it back to the Super Bowl, just continue to be the hottest team in the NFL. I mean, honestly, and terrorize whoever get in your way.
Yeah, we gonna have to get on that best safety duo in the
No,
NFL.
I said top five.
Same thing.
Still
Still,
blasphemy.
still, we're gonna have to get on
They're
that.
not a
Yeah,
top. They're not a top
He wants us
five
to list
safety
them.
we're
duo.
He
gonna we're
wants
gonna we're
I
gonna
ain't
have
gonna.
to
I ain't
get
gonna
on
ask. I
another
ain't gonna
day.
ask. I'm not gonna ask because I'm really trying to figure out a five that's better. I really can't think of none. But I'm gonna just while y'all talking, I'm just gonna scroll down my phone and just look at some teams, and I'll. But, I mean, because I really am having trouble trying to figure out who is a top five. Who is in your top five if the Bengals aren't.
We're gonna
Yeah,
have
I'm
to
gonna
make
have,
that. We're gonna
we're
have to
gonna have to make that list.
make that a topic. I'll
Mm.
make that a topic just for shits and giggles next week. And next one we got is the Dolphins. What you got, Jimmy?
Speed demons left and right, literally Jalen, Tyreek. They might line up on the same side. And back in my day, I would hate to see them. Now, they have nothing to lose. That's the biggest strength along with these speed demons. It was hard to pick one. Nothing to lose is a scary thing for a team that has everything, to lose in a sense. The Bills, we expect them to do big things. You had them. I used to have them. I'm off of it. My heart has changed. Now, the quarterback, the lack of experience is clearly to me their biggest weakness. And I'm not going to speak too much on that.
Yeah, the strength is Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. These guys can catch the football and take it to the house at any moment. That's the scariest thing about being that close. Like when it's a close game, when I was watching that Jets game, I was like, just give Tyreek Hill a second, and he's taking it to the house. Give Jalen Waddle a second, and he's taking it to the house. So that's their strength right there. The weakness is they can't stop the pass. Uh, Also, when they get down, these high-powered offenses, I mean, if two is not there, how do they complete the? How do they even get this offense going if Tua isn't playing?
Yeah.
Because right now it's not confirmed he is or he isn't playing. So, and I mean, the only way they can get to the Super Bowl is if Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill leads this team to the Super Bowl because the other teams that they got to face is way too high powered for them to compete. So I mean, right now it's you got to get your playmakers to football, and it's those two guys.
I agree. I for strength, I said they're high powered offense. I mean, on any given Sunday, two in that offense can compete with anybody. I cannot lie. They can, but their defense will not allow them to even win that game because their defense is atrocious, especially on that passing side. And they don't. And I honestly want to say it's the scheme because they play a lot of man to man, and they don't have the corners to be playing no man to man like how much they do. So it's partly the scheme, and it's just the defense. Period. They don't have the weapons to be playing that type of defense to get to the Super Bowl. I think this offense would have to hit historic levels that nobody's seen in order to make it to the Super Bowl and win. To be honest with you.
Yeah, look how they looked at the beginning of the season.
Hmm.
Next team we got is the Bills. Go ahead, Don.
Strength. They got Josh Allen, a top three quarterback, and any given Sunday he can win the game for them. Kind of like I said for Justin Jefferson. we all know that man can put his team on the back and carry them. As a weakness, the cornerbacks are really suspect. I mean, I get it. People say Tre'Davious White came back, line him up against a top wide receiver. Tre'Davious White ain't on nothing.
Get on him.
And my other thing is, will they be able to get constant pressure without Von Miller? I'm not sure. I really ain't. And to make it to the Super Bowl, Josh Allen ride the emotions. I know it's like a touchy subject, but ride the emotions of the Damar Hamlin being a situation to a Super Bowl, because you probably got more fan support for the Bills than any other team in the league right now to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you tripping. You
What happened?
definitely tripping about that secondary, man.
I'm talking about the cornerbacks.
Elam and Tre'Davious White.
Yeah. I've seen them get
Jones.
Teron Johnson. Come on. All right, but it's okay.
Johnson.
It's okay. This the defense. I mean, the defense will step up. The defense will make the plays when they need to. You can't run the football. You can't really run the football on these guys. Tre'Davious White will continue to get better. They're getting healthy. That's the biggest thing for that secondary, because they haven't been healthy all year. And I mean, they got Josh Allen, like you said. They got Stephon Diggs, like you said. So, I mean, them two are a big threat in that offense. Their weakness for me, and I've said this all year at the beginning of the year, they're too high powered. And what I mean by that is they try to put up so many points so fast that they tend to get into close games when they don't need to. They need to find a way to slow the game down instead of try to make big plays all the time. They either trying to go deep to Gabriel Davis, or they're trying to hit Diggs for a 10-yard, some form of 10-yarder. Josh Allen's always looking to throw the ball deep or run it. It just slow the pace a little bit. Control the offense, control the game, and this team will be okay. And then that forces him to throw more interceptions like he's been doing. So just slow the pace down, they'll be okay. I mean, they're my Super Bowl favorite. I think if they just continue to play defense and doing what they're doing now, I think the Bills are going to win the Super. They're going to win the Super Bowl. That's my pick. So
I like that, man. Almost thought you was reading off my notes or something. Like, stop it. But Josh Allen and the Diggs combo is that, yes, it's easily their biggest strength, and it's not a lot of quarterback receiver combos on that level. Now, the weakness, that's the one I really want to focus on, because you're right, you're spot on. Eating the clock, chewing the clock in a run game is very important in the playoffs. We've seen the Bengals, my fault, not the Bengals. We've seen the Chiefs adopt this mentality, which led to more efficiency within their offense. The Bills remind me of the Chiefs a couple years back when they weren't capable, it seemed, to methodically go down the field. And if the Bills are able to be methodical along with that defense that can back any type of offense, I believe this team goes to another level. We already know they can shoot out with anyone. We already know they can score a touchdown like that, 13 seconds, 2 seconds, whatever. They can get in field goal range, similar to what we've seen the Chiefs do against them. But being able to see them have a lead and maintain the big lead, I believe is what you were speaking on, cousin. And if they're able to do that against any team, even these Bengals and these Chiefs, they have the defense built to bend but don't break and not allow for a comeback or a shootout to happen. So I want this offense to help this defense more than they have.
Yes, sir.
See, y'all real high on that Bills defense. I see.
Yep, and they're gonna show it right when the playoff come. Watch, mark my word. You gonna be upset. You're gonna be upset at the end of the season.
I promise you, I won't be. I promise you, it's gonna be what I say is gonna be proven right, that the Bills secondary can't do nothing with a high power offense. We seen in 13 seconds Patrick Mahomes get down the field against this same mighty Bills defense. But hey, go off.
We'll see. So we got the Kansas City Chiefs. So their strength is they got the baby goat, they got Andy Reid. That's the strength right there. You got Travis Kelsey. That's the strength right there. Do I have to say more? Pat Mahomes threw for 5,000 yards without Tyreek Hill. Do I have to say anything more? That's it.
That was the only strength they
Um,
really got. But okay.
Weakness. I sometimes think Mahomes try to make too many big plays. He tries to get a little too cute sometimes when he doesn't need to. I think I forgot which one of y'all said it. Um, he needs to. It's kind of like that Bills effect as well. He needs to control the game a little bit better. But and also their defense secondary is a little inconsistent at points, but that D line is something serious. And I mean, they know they're the team to beat. They know in their hearts that they are the team to beat. So they just need to continue what they're doing, and they'll make it to the Super Bowl.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
For me, their strength is the methodical, high-powered offense. It's a different combination. High-powered, methodical. The combination reminds me of a lot of different dynasties we've seen within, or many dynasties we've seen within the game of football. You're talking about different ways this offense can flow. And the Chiefs can do it this year better than any other year. I would say this is their best offense. Being able to say 30 plus points a game without Tyreek Hill, which is something that they did with Tyreek Hill, speaks to the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, the true baby goat. From there, we go to their weakness. And the weakness, yes, is their defense, and it's their secondary specifically. We talked about the shootouts earlier, and I predicted it was a bold prediction for a reason, because this defense, their secondary hasn't been consistent ever since the Honey Badger. I have no faith in them, and him even in the middle of the defense wasn't enough to truly have faith in this defense as a whole. We've seen this defense get got or be had with Tyrann Mathieu. He's not there anymore, so I need this weakness to be at least a not something that cost them the game like we've seen before. Chiefs.
Um, for their strength, they got Mahomes and Reed. I mean, the offense can be unstoppable at times, and Reed comes up with some. You seen they had that little twirly play that they had against the Raiders.
Yeah, that was
Like,
disrespectful.
Mad, like for no reason.
like he can come up with some stuff. As the weakness. Oh, I have that defense. They can't stop a nosebleed. They're ranked 32nd in pass TDs, 29th in red zone TDs. What are we gonna do with that when they face one of these elite teams? I don't know what we're gonna do with that. Like that ain't gonna cut it. I don't care if they got a good defensive line or not. Apparently, that defensive line has not been getting pressure enough to stop them when they get into the red zone. The only way I see the Chiefs getting to the Super Bowl, only way, is if the Bills knock out the Bengals, because we all know they ain't beating the Bengals if the Bengals can meet them in Arrowhead again. But hey, we can move on.
Man, I'll be a little upset because my Super Bowl pick doesn't get to the Super Bowl. But if that happens, I can't wait to win some money on the Chiefs when they beat the Bengals. I can't wait.
You gonna bet me?
No, I could bet you. I could bet Vegas. Either way, somebody paying me my money.
You ain't sound too confident when I said you're gonna bet me.
Either way, the money coming in my pocket.
If that's what you say, okay. Hey, let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I had this last year for the Super Bowl, but when we win, I'm gonna light this up for y'all. I'm gonna let you know that now.
I like it. I like it. I like a good cigar. I like it. Next one we got is the Cowboys.
Yes, the Cowboys. It's a great roster, great construction. I spoke on one of the greatest GMs of all time, Jerry Jones, and the job he does with these Cowboys. Everything they need is in place. But the biggest weakness, again, I said it earlier, Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott. The most important duo, we ain't talking about receiver quarterback here, which is my coach quarterback here, is their biggest weakness. And with that being said, it leads to this roster that is perfectly, in a sense, constructed to have a lot of questions, to not have true faith in this Cowboys organization, only because the top is a little shaky. No stability there. Mike McCarthy might be out of there. Dak Prescott has been playing like trash lately. We'll see.
Yeah, I had a strength for them is just that they have a little 1-2 punch with Zeke and Pollard as a combination, not just Zeke alone or not just Pollard alone. Dak is that mid-tier quarterback that is capable of, that does help them win games. Uh, but their weakness is that right currently they're not getting no pressure on defense. Their defensive line isn't looking like they were in the beginning of the year. Um, no turnovers and not creating turnovers. Dak is turning the ball over way too much. And Zeke is running like he has a piano on his back. I mean, he just doesn't look the same. Um, the only way they can make the play to make to the Super Bowl is if they make the big plays that matters instead of Dak, getting all those garbage time yards that he usually does when they're down in the fourth quarter. And it looks like, oh, Dak threw for 250, 300 yards. And no, they're just garbage time yards,
Mhm.
right? He has those passing yards because they need the passing yards. So that's the only way they make it.
Um, for the strength for the Cowboys, I got that they can play with anybody, whether it's offense or defense. Like they can play with anybody. It just depends on what type of Dallas team you get for that day. Weakness, Dak Prescott and his inconsistency. I'll say this: he's consistent in one thing, throwing an interception every week. And I say this: the other weakness is they sometimes play down to the level of their competition. You do that against the Bucks, you might lose. I will say that. The way they get to the Super Bowl, just live up to the hype that everybody gives y'all before every season. Like everybody says, "Oh, this is their year. This is their year." Well, finally, make it y'all year. Like
Please break the
literally.
curse. Please.
Oh man, yeah, I ever seen that Dallas Cowboy starter pack with like the Jordan 13s, the blue ones, and the jean shorts and the white
Nah,
T-shirt.
right. I ain't never seen them,
Yo,
man.
that's too funny.
Yo, the
Oh
Cowboys.
man! All
The
right, so we
Cowboys.
got we got the Bucks. What you got, John? Don?
Hey, Jimmy, I did say something nice. They still have a Super Bowl winning team. It's crazy. It's crazy to say,
What?
but they still have a Super Bowl winning team. That I mean, they got most of the pieces from that Super Bowl team, and I've seen crazier stuff happen. But their weakness, Brady and the offense is inconsistent. But the way they get to the thing, eh, I, I can't be nice no more. I just can't see them making it to the Super Bowl. To be honest with you,
Yo,
the O line is horrible. I cannot even lie like that to say I can see them get to the Super Bowl.
I refuse to raise my blood pressure here, so I'm going to be as monotone as possible. These Bucks' strength is Brady and the postseason, plain and simple. That's the biggest strength.
You just bet
He
against
ele-
him.
Listen, I'm just speaking on strengths, okay? Just because that's their strength doesn't mean their strength will lead to the promised land, okay? Now, from there, we talk about the run game is their biggest weakness. But if they establish a run game, oh my goodness, my pick will be in jeopardy because this is all this team is missing. A 46-year-old should not have to pass the ball around like this. We should be able to lean on that run game like even that man, bad man, Aaron Rodgers or whatever they call him, was doing. If he gets a run game similar to that, watch out for these Bucks. But that's all I got.
Yeah, I got the Bucks. Their strength is Brady. They do still have Brady. He is still playing when he does get time to throw. He is getting the football to his weapon. They got the outside weapons. They got Godwin and Mike Evans, so they still got that there, and they can also stop the run on defense. Their weakness is their O line, um, and I mean the the defensive lines of opposing teams are getting to Brady way too fast, and he isn't. I mean, he's getting older, so he can't get the ball out quick enough like he used to. And the only way this team gets to the Super Bowl is if Brady gets clutch. The old Brady comes back and he just makes a miraculous Super Bowl run that we'll all be amazed by, and we wouldn't really be surprised because it is Brady. Oh man,
It is.
I got the Vikings next. Um, I'll say this: their strength on any given Sunday, Jettis can go off and he could get them a win. That's my only strength for them because it seems like when they play legit teams, they fold. My my weakness. Defense is trash. I mean, one of the worst in points allowed, passing defense. I mean, it's get it however you want it over there. And the reason why they can't make it to the Super Bowl is because prime time Kirk Cousins. Just straight up prime time.
yeah, yeah. My strength is all the weapons they have on offense: Thielen, Jefferson, Cooks, and Hawkinson. Like you said, they should be able to score with anybody. But the weakness is definitely the defense and Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins will make plays. Uh, and I can't believe I was told that he was an elite quarterback from multiple people. I
Who
still
told you
don't
that?
see. Hey, whoever's watching this, you know who told me that.
Sheesh.
If you are watching this, you know who told me Kirk Cousins is a elite quarterback and he's not.
The
I still
blasphemy.
still haven't
I
seen
sure
it.
you ain't helping them, Mike.
Nah. I'm not talking
Uh-huh.
about Mike.
He came
Honestly,
close. He came close to saying that.
in order for this team to really make the Super Bowl, they just gotta keep putting up a bunch of points, and that's it. That's the only way they can make it, but they're not making it.
Yeah, the biggest strength is Jefferson. He's on a different level, and we have to put a little bit more respect on his name. We try to debate the greats against the greats, but this man is doing some all time great things. We're in the midst of it. We're seeing it, and that can lead to a lot. But I believe that is their also their biggest weakness. Relying on Jefferson so heavily and force feeding him can, deem into some negative ish going on for these Vikings. Because again, the top in talent isn't just on the perimeter; it's also in that backfield. And if you can get Dalvin Cook the ball in different ways, get him over 100 yards on the ground and through the air, it will allow the Vikings to tap into those other weapons a little bit easier. Um, but we'll see. These Vikings, no one believes in them.
Yep. Next one is the Giants. Their strength is Saquon. Saquon is making a ton of big plays. He's looking like the old Saquon, the old healthy Saquon. That's what we like to see. He could do it in the run game or the pass game. He could even throw the ball. Um, and also their defense is playing well. I think their weakness is that they lack out the weapons on the outside as far as the receiving. So they're not going to be able to compete with a lot of these other teams. And then
Mhm.
the only way they get to the Super Bowl is if resiliency. I mean, they got to be resilient. They gotta find a way to win, like they did versus the Packers and the Ravens. That's the only way.
I like that. I like that. The style will keep him in the game. That's the biggest pro to me. The biggest strength for those Giants. Saquon, is make it or break it. It's on you. But the biggest weakness is sort of it doesn't bode well for them. The comeback ability. With Saquon being the biggest strength, you need something to help assist open up the game for Saquon. They don't have that on the perimeter. Daniel Jones coming back with the lack of weapons. I just don't see it happening if they are down in the game.
My strength for them, their rushing ability between Daniel Jones and Barkley. There's an argument to be made. Daniel Jones is probably top five mobile QBs in this league right now. To be honest with you, bro can really run that ball. Um, my issue with them, as far as their weakness, they lack talent on the outside, wide receiver and cornerbacks. I, I don't think they're going to be able to stop nobody. And as far as the Super Bowl, no shot.
We got the Seahawks. What you got, Jimmy?
And that's the only thing in the Pete Carroll effect. Because you're in a familiar territory and Pete Carroll's your coach, I give you a little puncher's chance or whatever you want to call it. And then the top end talent, they just don't have it. The guy who can change the game and the solo guy who can change the game. Maybe if Jamal Adams was healthy, we would say that they have it. I'm not really sure what he has left in the tank. But that one solo guy with playoff experience, I don't see it all throughout their roster. So to me, that's their biggest weakness.
As far as the strength, I'm gonna go with their pass defense. They do defend the pass very well, and also Kenneth Walker's running ability. I think they need to lean on the run a little bit more. Um, the weakness is that Geno Smith, the last 7 games, has thrown 7 interceptions.
Wow.
Some of them are, 2 interception games, 1 interception games, every other game. But either way, in the total of the games, he's thrown 7 interceptions. Also, the Seahawks is one of the worst time management teams in the league, if not the worst. Um, so Geno Smith is going to have to lead them to the win in order to beat the 49ers. And they already lost twice. That's the only thing that's benefiting the Seahawks is that it's hard to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. Don't talk, Don. We are not getting on the Bengals today.
I
And
ain't
then
got nothing to say
also,
about that. Hey, as long as you
oh,
ain't directing it this way, I don't have nothing to say about these other teams that you say that they can't do it. Hey, that's on them.
the only way they could go to the Super Bowl is if they really run the ball and then they take the deep shots in order to make the big plays to DK and Tyler Lockett.
For my strength for them, I got that they have some players that could be mismatches. To be honest with you, I mean they do have Metcalf, they do have Lockett, they got Walker back there. Walker could change the game, so could Metcalf. As far as their weakness, I'm not sold on their defense, to be honest with you, and I'm not sold on Gino being able to make a strong playoff push throughout. Like you said, he has 7 interceptions over what last 4 games. Like,
7.
oh, last 7. Like I'm not sold on Gino being able to put up any type of numbers to be able to go head to head with some of these other quarterbacks. As far as Super Bowls go, I don't care if they got Pete Carroll back there or not. They ain't got no shot.
All right, we got the 49ers. What you got, Don?
Strength, defense, and all those offensive weapons that they got around there, and Kyle Shanahan and that mastermind that he got there. I mean, that's literally that's all their strengths. As far as their weakness, now I tied their weakness with their Super Bowl. Um, the only way I don't see this team winning the Super Bowl, getting to the Super Bowl, or in their weakness is if Purdy is not able to perform in big games. To be honest with you, I mean, that's literally their only weak link. That's all I could think of an issue with the 49ers. Because even when you go look at their stats, all you see is green left to right. They're one of the best at everything.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And for me, it's the rhythm and confidence. I believe that's very, very important when you have a rookie quarterback and they have that going for them. They are hot, they are confident, and this guy Purdy has it set up for him to do something that we haven't seen in a long, long time. And the expectation that Kyle Shanahan has with the placement of this team, because of the revolving door, the precedent has been set. We believe this guy is capable of it. We believe his greatness is here, so we have to see it play out. Also doesn't have too much to lose at the same time. But I would love to see the weakness that has been of Kyle's, and especially in the clutch situations. I would love to see that pan out for them, and I can see them making the Super Bowl if that does.
Yeah, for the strength, I got their run game. I think we need to highlight that run game with CMC and Elijah Mitchell. They showed you bringing Elijah Mitchell back. He scored 2 touchdowns in his game back. And also the ability to control the clock with Purdy. So being able to run a game opens up the field for getting the ball to guys like George Kittle. Obviously, we see that Purdy and Kittle has a good connection right now. So I think if they continue that, that'll be great. The weakness to me is their is Purdy's ability in the fourth quarter to make the big plays in the playoffs. We've seen him make some good plays right now late in the season, but now it's playoff time. This is win or go home. This is if you throw an interception. This can be you throwing a who Peyton Manning throwing a was it Peyton Manning or Drew Brees that threw that game losing interception in the Super Bowl
I want to
to
say
to Tracy Porter.
Oh, Peyton.
That was Peyton. See, those are the big time moments I'm talking about. So, in order for this team to get to the Super Bowl, we got to play defense and run the football. Last team we got is Philly. Their strengths, their pass rush. That's the strength right there. And they're also defensive back play with the combo of their defensive backs of Bradbury and Darius Slay. We know that they've been solid this year. Also, they should be getting Gardner Johnson back at some point. At one point, he led the league in interceptions. So their weakness, Jalen Hurts missing a couple of weeks after the injury, right? At least we got one game in, so he could, get the rust off a little bit. But he was on a roll. He was on a roll this year. Like we're talking like MVP level year, right? Some people think he hasn't, but some people think he has. So that you can lose that momentum by missing a couple of weeks, and so that's my only issue. I think if they continue to play defense and Jalen Hurts can come back and continue what he was doing before his injury, this team will be in the Super Bowl.
I like that. I like that. The balance attack for this team to me is their biggest strength. This Eagles team can beat you on the ground, they can beat you in the air, and they can beat you in an ugly matchup. We've seen them lose to the Saints in a low scoring game a couple weeks ago, but they could have easily won that game with Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts, rust, you just said it, the rustiness to me is the biggest weakness. But I also might want to step back a little bit because I believe that might be a strength for them too, if they so choose to use this guy's legs, sort of like Lamar. The arm is the arm, but if the arm isn't the arm, it takes away from that balance. But he'll always be able to run that ball while inside of his prime or entering his prime. So I think we'll see about these Eagles. Not too many cons for these Eagles.
For the strength of the Eagles, I got that they're a complete team from top to bottom. I mean, I say this: Hurts has played like an MVP, but got some questions about him. And as a weakness, how healthy is that shoulder? Like you saw it this past weekend, he looked a little rusty. So uh, he's gonna be off another week. Jimmy made the point early. He's gonna be off another week. What happens? What happens in that 1 week? And now you're gonna be facing like a Cowboys or a Giants team. I I'm not too sold on it. And as far as a weakness, I say just living up to all this built up hype that everybody is praising the Eagles with already, like they've beaten anybody, like they've proven anything. So I just want to see them go out there and do it. If they do it, hey, I see Eagles fan told me that they'll meet us in the Super Bowl, so I can be quiet. So hey, I guess we're gonna find out.
We shall see.
Yes,
It is that
sir.
time. It is that time.
Yes, sir. Man, fellas, it was a good episode today.
Oh yeah.
Man,
Oh
we got
yeah.
some topics for another time. We got
Hmm.
coaching, we got DBs, who the best DB duo. Man, we got some
Mhm.
juicy topics for another day.
Mhm.
And we are in the this is now the playoff. This is the playoffs. This is where
Finale.
history is gonna be made right here. Last year's playoffs was, man, that was the best players I ever seen in my life.
Me
It's
too.
real smooth. That was real
And
smooth.
we hoping we can get some more games just like it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We gonna get them. We definitely gonna get them, especially on the AFC side. I can feel it.
Hmm.
I can feel it in there.
Yes, sir. And don't forget, guys, like, share, subscribe, comment.
Hmm.
Um, if you
Share
guys
it.
got if you guys got any questions for us, we'll be happy to answer them for you. Show some fan love. We'll get that back in. And you guys already know. Until next time,
Oh yeah.
peace.
We out.